here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, here we go. Off and running with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance. All across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes. That's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. How was everything yesterday? You know, all your games that you watched and pulling for your team and let me just say, okay, yeah, I'm glad for baseball, like a double dose of baseball. Not only college baseball season, but it's now MLB. All right, I'm glad. All right, but both my teams lost. Both of them. That's all right, though. Hey, whatever. Could be worse. Could be a BYU fan. All right, so this is the Friday show. It's a free-for-all Friday. Whatever you want to get into is cool with me. So get on in here, let her rip, Tater Chip. How are you, by the way? You know, and let me just say, too, before I give you the number, I was scrolling through some of the text messages that came in yesterday and since yesterday on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best, made right here in Mississippi. And I just wanted to say a thanks to everybody who participates, comments, questions, calls me and others out, and whatever the input and feedback you give us. I just appreciate it so much. I hope you know that. I hope you know that your comments and phone calls and text messages and interaction on this show and other series really, really, really appreciated. May we never take it for granted. All right. Thanks. So on that note, text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. That number is 885-3776. The 601 number, 885-3776 or 885 acronym. Sorry, that's all I got. I'm not giving those. I'm not saying the word. You can call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Number to call is 897-1059, just like the radio station 1059. 897-1059. That'll get you in here. And, of course, if you're on the live stream, hey, too, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or watching out there in X-Land, X, formerly Twitter, feel free to drop a comment right there. Like Sven, he's the first to get in today over in Berlin, Germany, and he said, Hail State, everyone. Well, he says, that's what happens when your head coach and pitching coach don't know what they're doing. Says we had the game won, gave it up like we did against Texas and Oklahoma in 5 minutes. Didn't take long, did it? Gone. Sven also said LSU was terrible yesterday, and that will not happen again this weekend because they are a contender and we are a pretender. Terrible L in Baton Rouge. That's according to Sven on the live stream over there on YouTube. I have something else in baseball, though, that I wanted to mention to you. I didn't know about this. I missed it. I took the dog for a walk and missed some of this. Big Jasper. Yep. Big old adopted Jasper, all 90 pounds of him, long legs. You ought to see him jump. It's crazy. He can, like, I'll hold up. We'll be playing with this rope toy, and he's fetching it in the backyard, and I'll hold it up. And if I turn my head and I'm not paying attention, he will jump. He's over my head. I'm 6.5 feet tall. He'll just jump. He's over my head in the air. He's something now. Anyway, we went for a walk yesterday. I missed some of the Braves game, and I missed this part of it. He does not play for the Braves. His name is Fernando Tatis Jr. I missed the clip, but Beaver sent it to me. Here's what it sounded like.
Crushed to left. Profar back. It's off the top of the wall. Tatis thought he had homered, and he's only going to get a single out of it. He was admiring the ball off his bat, and he doesn't get past first base.
It's inexcusable. It happens more in our game, I think, than it ever has. And you're letting teammates down in spots like this. He certainly did hit the baseball hard, but it had some topspin on it. You see how slowly he gets out of the box. Then there's that panic, and it's too late. It looked like it was going to get out of here pretty easily, but obviously it did not. And that is a big mistake from Fernando Tatis Jr.
Okay, so whatever. It's opening day, and the Padres came back and beat the Braves. Braves lose a 4-3 lead there at that point in the ball game. Wound up losing the opening. But here's a major leaguer who, hey, let me showboat a little bit. Opening day, first big swing. Oh, let me admire it. Oh, top of the wall, loafing. He's walking up the first baseline, gets a single out of what coulda, shoulda, woulda been certainly extra bases and maybe even a triple if he'd hustled out of the box. With more on this, I'll defer to the young fella who sent that video clip to me. Happy Friday, Beaver. How you doing?
I'm good, Matt Wyatt. How's you?
Peachy, thank you for sending me that video clip. I needed that to remind me why pro sports are so hard to latch onto sometimes. Fernando Tatis Jr.
It seems to be not only pro sports, but specifically Tatis and some of his Padres teammates, because I remember that was the thing last year was people were just like pretty much the same attitude a ton of people have about the Tennessee Volunteers baseball in college.
Well, that's the thing about pro sports too, Beaver, is there's always a trickle down. Like whatever becomes popular or sort of trendy at the pro level, you look up and college kids will be doing it, and then high school kids will be doing it, and then the little league kids will be doing it. Have you ever noticed that? I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let me give you an example. Do you remember sometime in the last 5-10 years, the Mets had a really popular starting pitcher named Noah Syndergaard?
Yeah.
Remember the long, flowing blonde hair?
Yep.
Beaver? When he became like the cover boy for everything Major League Pro Baseball, within 2 years, every college team in America had at least one pitcher running out to the mound wearing his uniform the same, with his hair grown out the same, with it coming out the sides of his hat the same length, same look. I mean, like, emulating it. That's what happens. It's just natural. It's like you're emulating that. And whether you like it or not, when guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. admire their singles off the top of the wall and strut out of the batter's box, the kids will be doing it too. But, first one for today, Beaver, but I digress. What else you got on your mind on a Friday? Anything happening?
Well, No, not really. Nothing going on over here. Yeah. Nothing in particular, at least.
Okay. Let's see. Let me think. Anything else? I took Jasper to go get he had to get a checkup. He had to get some medicine. You know how they have to take like monthly medicine to keep the ticks and stuff away? Mm-hmm. That. And he's getting a bath. And I almost got, like, I haven't given him a bath. I hadn't had him long enough. I wanted to give him the bath. But the thing about it is, he was going to be there anyway. And this is one of the things they offer when they go in for checkup stuff. So I'm doing it. But I can't imagine. I've never washed a 90-pound dog. I kind of wanted to do it. So let's see. Other than just casually keeping up with sports, Beaver, that's the only thing going on over here. Seems like things ought to be a little more exciting in my life. What about you?
Yeah, because, look, like, I just saw Jackson was in here.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, what's been going on? And I said, Man, same old, same old. And I realize that every time I see him and he asks me what's been going on, that's usually my answer. It's always same old, same old. So to your point, feels like maybe something more should be going on. But do we want that? Yeah. Do we really want all kinds of more going on?
See, I think there was a time in our life when the answer was yes, but now no.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've reached a point where no, I don't really want a whole lot going on. Maybe you should just make it up. Make something up the next time Jackson asks you that. What's been going on? Man, not much. High-speed chase last night. What? Yeah, I was in it. I was in a high-speed chase last night. And then just see where it goes from there. See what reaction you get, B. And then it's up to you how far you take it before you tell him the truth. Yeah. No, I was not in a high-speed chase last night. I saw one, though. Really? You saw a high-speed? Yep, on TV. I mean, you know, there's ways to bring it back to the truth eventually. Well, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to bring everything back to the truth eventually on this show here on this Friday, and we will begin with headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Mortgage Man Group. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. mortgagemanms.com. Headline number one, State dropped the series opener at LSU. State played really well behind a good start from Evan Sierre, but a huge fifth inning for LSU was the difference. LSU wins the game 8-6. Both teams had 8 hits. State had an error in the game. LSU did not. But State came out on fire. I mean, it was like, here we go. 2 runs in the first, a run in the second, another in the third, fourth, and the fifth. And the next thing you know, they're up. After the top of the fifth inning, they're sitting there with a 6-2 lead in the ball game. But 5 runs in the bottom of the fifth inning for LSU took the lead. They got an insurance run in the 8th. State drops the series opener, and then tonight it's game 2 with Pico Khan on the mound. Last night in Oxford, it was Ole Miss, a 7-5 win for Ole Miss over Florida. How about this? How about State and Florida are a combined 1-13 in the SEC? There is one SEC win between them, State and Florida, right now. And that's State. Last night, Florida, Ole Miss scored first. That was bottom of the second. They're up 2-0. And a big top of the third inning for Florida. They took the lead. They're up 3-2. Ole Miss tied it in the bottom of the third. And a little bit like LSU, it took, getting through the lineup some, and then bottom of the fifth, 3 more runs in the bottom of the fifth for Ole Miss. Insurance run in the 6th. Held on. Florida put a couple of runs up late, but not enough. Florida actually out-hit Ole Miss last night, 10-8, but Ole Miss wins 7-5. And you looked up, and how about this? Both Ole Miss and LSU are 5-2 in the SEC in baseball. The rest of the SEC is going to start their series tonight. It'll be Friday through Sunday. Same thing for Southern Miss. They are hosting South Alabama this weekend at Pete Taylor Park in Hattiesburg. And so tonight's first pitch scheduled for what, 6 p.m.? Yep, South Alabama at Southern Miss. Basketball, last night you had Sweet 16. The scores, you know them by now, but a couple of SEC teams advanced, and one almost did, but didn't quite do it enough. Florida with the win over Maryland, 87-71. Gators advance. Duke and Arizona played a high-scoring game. Duke advance. Arizona's done. Alabama shot the lights out. Mark Sears with 34 points and 8 assists in the ball game. Alabama beat BYU 113-88, so the Tide advances. And a heck of a game. It went to overtime late last night. Texas Tech an 85-83 winner over Arkansas. And Tech's a 3 seed, so Arkansas the 10. Their story kind of a magical second half of the year comes to an end with a 2-point loss in overtime in the Sweet 16. Heck of a first year at Arkansas for Coach Cal. And then the Sweet 16 continues tonight. Again, if you're interested, you probably already know. But you got 4 more SEC teams that are playing tonight. 2 of them are playing each other. At 6:30 on TBS, it's Kentucky and Tennessee. At 6 on CBS, it's Ole Miss and Michigan State. At 8:30 on CBS, it'll be Michigan and Auburn. And then the late game tonight at 9 on TBS is Purdue and Houston. Okay, and last thing in the headlines, there is football in here, sort of. Ex-Tennessee Volunteers head football coach Jeremy Pruitt. Boy, that's a blast from the past. When was the last time you thought about that name? I mean, when they got rid of him at Tennessee, everybody just went, who? Ex-Tennessee coach Jeremy Pruitt is suing the NCAA and wants $100 million. I mean, and if I could do a Dr. Evil impression, I would. Former Tennessee coach Jeremy Pruitt filed a lawsuit against the NCAA seeking $100 million and claims it conspired with the University of Tennessee to make him a, quote, sacrificial lamb. More details coming up on that story. Those are your headlines here at the top of the hour, top of the show here today on this Friday. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Anything mortgage related. So buying that house, refinancing, anything mortgage under the sun, and other things as well. They can do it all for you there. Right on down to checking accounts and saving accounts. Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. You see Went, tell him I said hey. Say, hey, Went. See if you can scare him. Tell him Matt said hey. Yeah, Jeremy, 100 million. How you count? That's a big, nice round number. $100 million. How much? $100 million. Now, regarding state baseball, I read you Sven's comment. I read you his first 2 comments about Mississippi State baseball. He's on the YouTube live stream. Res Dog chimes in. He's texting the show on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. That's the number to text. I ate jalapeno and cheddar for breakfast this morning with cinnamon toast. Yeah, okay, make fun of me. Tell me I'm 5 years old. I don't care. It's good. Cinnamon toast. How do you make cinnamon toast? If you don't, you're missing out. I know. I'll tell you what I do with mine. A whole lot of sugar. More on that later. But regarding baseball, Res Dog says definitely the same old garbage. He says MSU baseball. You know, I mean, it's tough now. It's tough to be 1-6 in the SEC to start the year. And the only relief you get is that it is Pico Khan on the mound. It just happens to be in Baton Rouge tonight. And then tomorrow is anybody's guess as to the number of home runs that might get hit out of there tomorrow. So, you know, your hope, if you're a State fan, is that you play really good defense and get a heck of an outing behind a good start from Khan and have a chance to maybe win the ball game. You know, we shall see. Jason out in Flagstaff, Arizona, says, I've resigned myself to thinking that State is either going to get really hot with the much, quote-unquote, easier part of the schedule coming up and end up in Omaha, or everyone within driving distance of campus getting fired. And then he throws in there for having weak arms. Yeah, like, it depends on who you talk to, right, Jason, as to what the reaction is. I just know, like, it's just rare territory. It's so there's so many factors that start flying around in your brain when you start trying to think about it and figure it out. I know, you know, I'm willing to admit there's things I don't know, like we have talked about before here. I don't know what the numbers are. Like, how many millions of dollars is State throwing at its baseball roster as compared to, you know, LSU and some of the other places? Is it the same? Is it in the same ballpark? Is it not? I mean, that's telling, I think. Because, when this new era of college sports kicked in over the last 5 years, pay for play, running right alongside total open transfer, no transfer restrictions. And really it's almost like no eligibility restrictions either. It's true that state, like many of the programs, began to sort of rely on that. The quick fix. I mean, you've got a few people there that have come in as high school signees and come their way up, but it's a whole lot of transfers from other schools in there. I don't even know. I'm not versed enough in roster building to know if you could do it, but the whole seniority thing being so important, I can certainly see anybody going, okay, well, look, you no longer, because of this, the teams you're competing against are going to retool every year with veterans from other teams. And so you're never going to have a young team from like a chronological standpoint. So what you can't do is try to continue to build your team by developing players who are coming out of high school and that sort of thing. I mean, because you still have to pay them, but then you're trying to develop them and having 18, 19-year-olds competing against 23-year-olds, and that'll just get you beat a bunch. And so everybody kind of had to give in if you could and go out and spend the money in the portal. The question is how much, then those decisions, and then those evaluations, you evaluate those, and then you have to look at how well coached are the teams or not. I just know it's tough to watch right now for state baseball fans. Stick around.
Man, ever since Coach got his new...
I'm Eddie Hoffman with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com, at a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing.
Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the prairie wildlife.
And coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Free for all Friday. Everything goes. Whatever you want to get into is just perfectly fine with me. Sven commented on YouTube. He said, I think he meant, to basketball. Arkansas had a 98% chance to win the game with 3 minutes to go, and you lose in overtime. Mr. Calipari should ask his players why Tech got 6 offensive rebounds on 1 possession. I didn't see it. Started too dadgum late. I mean, you start a game at 9 p.m. I'm not watching. I got a life. I do have a life. Okay, it's one I've chosen. Therefore, bedtimes and wake-up times. My wake-up time is really way too early for most people. And my bedtime is way too early for most people also. But, hey, let me bounce this off you, Beaver. Mr. Beaver. Good old buddy, old pal Beaver. Younger than me, Beaver. Do old folks stay up and watch their teams play when they tip off at 9 p.m.? Or are they just totally dependent on a young audience?
I don't think most are staying up.
Not even when their own team.
No. Big L. My personal experience, Big L's not staying up these days. He's 73 now.
Okay, who?
He's not staying up to watch football past like 9, probably at the latest, I'd say.
Yeah, just not doing it. Makes no sense whatsoever. 85 million different quote unquote TV channels out there, B. But we got to start a game at 9. Hey, here's a question. What do you think is the age cutoff where anyone that age or younger is fine staying up till midnight watching sports? What is that age, you think?
Oh, the cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
That's so hard to say because everyone is so different. It depends on your passion level.
I guess it does. I'm going to say on average, I would say on average 35. 35 and under. They're like, game kicks off at 9, fine, I'm up. Whatever, I'll stay up.
No, see, I'd go older.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd go 53.
Okay. All right then. You said, so you're saying 53 and under on average are fine with a 9 p.m. kickoff?
Oh, not fine. Like if they had their druthers, like 100% of their druthers, they wouldn't want it. But if it, depending on how much you want to watch your team, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think 35 is a little young.
Young. Okay. Well, maybe I'm the idiot then. Okay. So let me phrase it another way. You're saying anyone over 53 is like, I don't care if Michael Jordan's playing tonight at 9. I ain't staying up for it.
Well, see, now you're lumping. No, you're asking me to lump everybody into one I'm not saying the age where it cuts off, trying to speak for these people, but a roundabout's there. Yeah.
Okay, well, here's another way of putting it. Hold on, here's another way of putting it. Me, Matt Wyatt, I'm the oddball of the bunch in my late 40s in that I refuse to watch sporting events that don't start until 9 p.m. I ain't watching it. Period. It's just, I don't care what it is. Super Bowl, nope. It better happen before, it better culminate before 9. I'm not doing it. That 4:30 a.m.'s coming whether I stay up and watch this game or not. Today was a work day. B, that was a 9 p.m. tip on a Thursday night. These people have school to go to. Work. I have absolutely just continued to go farther and farther and farther down the path, Beaver, of becoming me, myself, and I becoming Hank Hill. That's me.
Now you listen to me, mister. I work for a living. And I mean real work, not writing down gobbledygook.
That's me. I'm becoming him. I'm not even ashamed of it. See, that's the other thing. Hank was not ashamed of himself ever, was he? He's like, Popeye, I am what I am. My buddy texted me, and he said 45 and below. He put the cutoff at 45. He says, if you're over 45, you're not staying up for games starting at 9 p.m. Hey, Beeve. Hey, 30,000 feet view of our show right now. Remember when I asked that question about a month ago? Hey, has this become just old guy radio?
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, aren't we?
The evidence keeps mounting.
Hey, I got on that note, I got to admit to you one more thing. Yesterday, I sat down to eat my lunch in about 10 minutes in front of the TV in my office before I had to get up and turn everything on for the show. And so I turned it on the Peacock app on my TV. You know? Do you have that, by the way, Peacock?
Yeah.
So I turned it on. Guess which show I chose?
Office?
Nope. Matlock. I mean, I did. Ben Matlock. Old gray-haired Andy Griffith. Vive, and I watched 10 minutes of it, and I was like, oh, man.
Oh.
Well, what do I got to... I think what I have to do, Beaver, is I have to offset this just steady but gradual trip I'm taking down old folks' road. Like I'm there. I've got to manually turn this around, and I got to offset it by going to extremes the other way. You know, almost midlife crisis like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's sports car, start working out, losing weight, trying to get the pecs and the abs going again, that sort of thing. Maybe even get some hair treatment. Start trying to have a tan. What else, Beav? Help me. What else? Give me some midlife crisis stuff that if I will go far enough down that path, maybe it offsets my inclination to just go ahead and be an old person. Help me.
Oh, man.
I think about that joke where the guy saw his doctor. The guy comes riding up with this beautiful young mistress in his convertible, his red convertible, and and the doctor goes, man, what are you doing? He said, well, Doc, I'm just doing what you told me to do. You told me to find a hot mama and be cheerful. He said, no, I didn't. I told you had a heart murmur. Be careful. It's somewhere in there. We got to have some offset going here. I don't know what it's going to take. But look, I don't care. Why is any sporting event starting at 9 p.m., let alone one important one? What are you going to do? You just going to survive on a 25-year-old viewership and younger? What are we doing?
Talk about cutoff dates. What is your cutoff time? If a game is going to start at what time? Well, the latest for you that you're willing to stay up and watch it.
If it starts at 5, I'll watch the whole thing. Many games, Beaver, many games that start at 6, I don't make it through. I really don't. Somebody texted in and said, I'm 77 and I'll stay as late as required. Uncle D texted and said, I'm passionate about my teams and love sports, but I'm more passionate about my sleep past 8:30. AK's dad, what up? AK's dad said this 39-year-old doesn't stay up late watching a ball game. Well, see, and we're also affected by, we can always easily access highlights, even game replays the next morning. That used to not be the case. 3-Hump Camel texted and said, and there were only 4 games yesterday. Why are 2 of them starting like 9 minutes apart? Exactly. Why? Somebody texted in and said, yes, it is Old Guy Radio. This is Hank. It is Old Guy Radio. He said, I'll be 65 in 20 days, and I stay up until midnight most every night. Well, more power to you, Hank. Scott texted and he said, I'm with you, Matt. My midlife crisis is being 57 and wanting a 76 Cadillac Eldorado convertible so I can act much older, not younger. Well, just go ahead and get you a Lincoln. Beav, I just wouldn't. You got stumped because I said red sports car. Like, you can't even look at me and in your head, wrap your head around me driving a sports car. Tell the truth.
No, I sure can't.
I don't fit first and foremost. Need something to fit in. Well.
You start wearing a scarf. You're a driving scarf. It is a driving scarf, and you have driving gloves.
Driving gloves.
For your sports car.
In the glove compartment, mind you. Yeah. Although I find classic cars just fascinating, and I'm not even a car guy. I just think they're so cool. I love seeing them. But to own one, you got to know how to fix it and spend money. I don't want to do that. I don't want that. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It's 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland. where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friends. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough.
Right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Gator Nation texted the show and said, St. John's, welcome to the Gators Penitentiary. Don't worry, Matt. Says we'll beat them in time for you to get to bed early. Wait, or you must be talking basketball. You're not talking baseball, are you? Well, hey, look, I'm not laughing at them. I'm in the same boat.
Hey,
what?
St. John's went out last weekend.
Oh, did they? They lost?
That's not who Florida's playing, Gator Nation. What are you doing? You telling tall tales?
And when did he send that? Today? Was it
6 minutes ago?
Was it a copy and a paste from a week ago? Let's see. They beat Maryland. So who would they be up against? They're in the West region. So Florida wins. Who will they square off against? Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech, not St. John's. Gotcha, Gator Nation. It's okay. Hey, you do not have to apologize, Gator Nation. It's just a little snafu. Listen, man, we live in this era, 2025, of you don't have to be correct about anything. Grammar, spelling, facts, information. You don't have to be correct about any of it.
Maybe he just hates St. John's that much. That that's why he went back to it.
Let's play them again. Maybe that's what it was. Uncle D texts the show. He says, I went to bed happy last night. Winning the baseball game against LSU, slept great. Got up, checked the score, just shaking my head. I've had that experience before, too. Jason in Flagstaff says you have to have the obligatory chain necklace that hangs just into the conveniently open top buttons of your shirt if you're old and not trying to be. Hey, but Beaver, as I was reading that, what Jason typed, I thought he was going to comment on these guys pimping home runs that aren't actually home runs and hit the top of the wall. Read that again. Obligatory necklace hangs just into the conveniently opened top buttons of your shirt. That's a bunch of those guys in Major League Baseball now. Make a little contact, stand at home plate and watch it. Top of the wall, single. All right. Over to the phone line, the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Judy on line 1 of the phone line. What's up, Judy?
Well, it is Friday.
It is.
That's a positive.
Happy Friday to you.
Oh, same to you. And I hope we have a better weekend than we did last night. Tell me what started the downfall of the Bulldogs last night. They were ahead by 5 runs.
Yeah.
Or was it 5-2?
It was 5-2 or 6-2. I think it might have even been 6-2 because they scored 2 in the first.
It was 6-2 at one point.
Yeah, they were up 6-2 going into the bottom of the 5th, and then LSU scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th.
How did they do that?
Looks like home run and home run, a 3-run home run and a 2-run home run.
No. How could the Bulldogs let them do that?
Well, they weren't trying to let them.
How?
They just threw it over the plate. There it goes.
And the bat hits the ball, makes the connection.
Boy, Judy, you really did call for much better analysis than this, didn't you? I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to hear a good analysis?
Yeah.
The rain is going to last all day.
When?
Somewhere, but not here.
Okay. All right.
That's my analysis for the day.
Okay, got it.
There was even an earthquake.
Oh, yeah.
And what was it, a tornado in the same place?
Well, no.
Earlier in the week?
Yeah, I saw the video of the earthquake. What was it, Thailand had the earthquake?
Yesterday, I think, yes. Mm-hmm. But not here.
No.
So, our Bulldogs have got to come through for us today and tomorrow.
Well,
not just get a lead, but keep it.
Yeah. Somebody
think
commented,
we can do that?
Well, can they? I mean, it's possible. Sure, it's possible. But Hail State,
anything's possible.
Hail State fans said on YouTube earlier, we might not make the postseason if we don't start winning some series. And I tell you, it's early in the year, but you better start stacking up some wins, or we won't be having a hosting conversation. It'll be, is your season over conversation. So, Judy,
you haven't cheered me up much.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. A little bit too much pragmatism here. Hey, thanks for the phone call, though. It's always good to hear your voice. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good weekend.
You too. Have a good weekend. Yep. 5 runs on 2 home runs in the bottom of the 5th yesterday for LSU, and that was all they needed. And, State stacking up some runs early in the ball game. 6 early runs in those first 5 trips to the plate, but not able to score any after that. So LSU, they get the lead. They're able to clamp the doors and win a close game at home. And that's kind of been the story for State, is even when they play well like that, coming up just a little bit short. That has just kind of been the name of the game. Sven says State and Florida are good teams with terrible coaches. Hail State fan said, have I ever told you how big of a Michigan State fan I am? Go Spartans. See, he's pulling against Ole Miss. He's pulling for whoever Ole Miss is playing. Sven went on to say about baseball, he said, Matt, the problem is how Lamonis and Parker handle this. Hungate and Burns combined would have won this game easy and without any questions. Why bringing unproven guys in against a 7-time champion? You know, people had a lot of issue with that. Freshmen, who you putting out there and in what situations. But, yeah, look, it's a tall task. If you don't really play lights out in the next two, I mean, you're 1-8 in the SEC, sitting there at 1-6 right now. Hunter texts the show, Matt, did you hear about Major League Baseball's TV and app not working yesterday? Did it affect you? I've been listening all week, just now able to tune in or chime in. No, it didn't affect me. I watched a little bit of it on this new FanDuel subscription thing. It worked. I just didn't watch the whole thing. I got up and went and did stuff. Went and walked the dog. We went out on the trace. Chickasaw Village out down from the Natchez Trace. Went on a long walk, stomping around in the woods. Enjoyed that. Come back, check the score. Padres had taken the lead. You know, that whole thing. But I did see something about it. Like they had a pretty bad day. Somebody was outlining it going, okay, how does Major League Baseball manage this? And it said, first of all, they opened their season 8 days after they had some quasi-real game that happened in another continent. Now, how dumb is that? 2, you have your real, sure enough, full-fledged opening day on the same day as the start of the Sweet 16 in basketball. What sense does that make? And 3, on opening day, the MLB app shuts down. Nobody could watch. I'm just telling you, maybe nice people. They may be nice people. Major League Baseball has had the worst leadership collectively. It ain't just one guy. The worst leadership of any major money-making outfit over the last 10 to 15 years. The only one that's been worse, the NCAA. Those are the two worst-led operations over the last decade and a half, maybe even more. But what baseball manages, you couldn't even, if you went back 15 years and started writing down things to try to come up with what would be worst-case scenario from a leadership perspective over the next 15 years, you wouldn't write some of this stuff down. You're like, there's no way. Yes, way. Including opening day. Oops, hang on a second, the server's down. How you going to fix that? Well, we can't get in there. Bobby's got the key. Where's Bobby? He's at home. He's trying to watch the game. Hour 2 of the show on this Friday coming up. Stick around.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area, the blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5. When you need me, it's going to be after 5. It hardly ever happens where you have a wreck, get pulled over, need an insurance card, wind blows, shingles off your roof. All these things happen, and it's typically after 5. And so the ability for someone to call me, get in contact with me, text me, ask me a question, and that's what it's about to me, is helping the people that we serve, is taking care of people, and them knowing that they can count on me whenever they need me. I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
Just knowing that there's just that other person that cares and loves me out there, it feels great. And they've done so much for me, and I can only be appreciative every single day for just having them in my life.
I think it's been the best decision because I gained a son, and he's the best son ever. If I was down and out, he'd be there.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Easy Cater. It's all the food for your workplace, all in one place. With over 100,000 restaurants nationwide on one platform. Whether you need food for company meetings or events, daily employee lunches, or your next lunch and learn, Easy Cater makes food for work, work. And it doesn't stop at lunch. With Easy Cater, you've got great breakfast options, snacks, treats, and more. Whenever and wherever work happens, Easy Cater's here to make the food happen. Order now at easycater.com.
Join the Candy Crush All-Stars Tournament now.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
Make it to the live final for your chance to win a share of $1 million. Play Candy Crush now.
Get your game on, go play.
Selected level 5 plus 18 plus. In-game event ends 0300 EDT 27 April. Win the in-game event. Receive an invite to the live contest in June in California. Requires U.S. travel. For terms and conditions, visit 2.king.com/terms. WRKS Pickens Jackson. We are good to go. With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide. Now, here we go. At the Zone1059.com.
Back with you, hour number 2 of the show. Off and running. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team. They are your home team. Listen, I woke up like 30 minutes, an hour earlier than I even normally do today. So I started getting a little sleepy. And thank goodness, number one, thank goodness for hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Hey! Hold on a minute. This is live radio. This is live taste test. Watch this. Thank goodness. I've got a thermos full of hot coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. You can get some there too. Big 1-pound bags of it. You're not going to run out anytime soon. That helps. The other thing that helps is my redheaded wife, the homecoming queen, HQ. Welcome to the show.
Hello. You just said, are you on live stream?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Because you said live radio. Everybody watch this. And I thought they can hear it. But I don't know if they can watch
they can't see me.
Matt.
No, they can't see me.
Yeah, no.
I shouldn't say.
Everybody listen to this.
Yeah, visual language.
Yeah.
You want to say, it's been so long since you were here, I feel like you should have a conversation with Beaver.
Hey, Beaver.
Hey, Annabeth.
How did your dental surgery stuff go?
Well, okay, so it wasn't, I don't know what kind of picture Matt Wyatt's painting. There was no surgery.
He scared me to death. I was like, oh my gosh, bless his heart. He's got to have dental surgery.
No, he acted like it was my teeth, and it wasn't even the teeth. And then he told you it was surgery, and it wasn't surgery.
He lied.
So he's misrepresenting everything about this.
He's just lying.
Well, but it wasn't.
It
wasn't intentional. I just got the wrong idea.
Well, and Beaver, let's just be honest. That's not hard for Matt to get details confused.
Oh man, hey Beav, listen to what happened.
But no, let him finish.
Oh, sorry.
How he is.
Sorry. Go ahead,
Beaver.
But it was good. It was nothing major.
Okay,
it was
good.
nothing major.
Okay.
I just hadn't been to the dentist in much longer than you should wait to go to the dentist.
Yeah, we're kind of on your calendar right now. We used to be really good. I was really good at it, and I've fallen behind. We've got to get back to the dentist. Matt has such a fear of dentist. I heard him talking about it the other day, and I was just going, be quiet, just be quiet.
I've never met a dentist
We
I
have a
didn't
lot
like.
of friends who are dentists, and they're great people. But Matt just has a phobia. He cannot handle it.
He's an anti-dentite.
He's an anti-dentite.
But here's the thing about
some of the nicest people we know are in the dental industry, but Matt can't handle it. He's scared to death.
It's so uncomfortable.
He hates it. But it's okay.
Yeah.
I digress. Don't go into that whole
Okay,
thing
I
again.
won't get back into it. No, what I was going to say, talking about not getting the details right, Beaver, listen.
I'm glad you're okay, Beaver.
Listen to what happened, Beaver. Annabeth placed this order of food that one day that I was going to pick up to take to Mary Liddy at school for her lunch.
Which we rarely do. She usually takes her lunch, but this was a special.
This was a special deal, and I'm going to deliver this.
We'll have
and
lunch.
Annabeth said, okay, well, I'm going to get your lunch will be in there too. Get it out of the bag before you drop the bag off at school. So I did that.
And there was also lunch in the bag for one of Mary Liddy's teachers.
Yeah, that was in there.
And a friend.
Well, Beaver, I happen to look in the bag when I'm sorting things out before I take their lunches into the school and leave mine in the car. And I look in the bag, and it's like not one golden ticket. There's like 5 or 6. There's this whole stack of cookies in the bag. And I thought to myself, well, I knew there was food in here for the teacher. I knew there was food in here for Mary Liddy. They're not going to eat all these cookies. I thought, well, Annabeth just must have used our points at this particular restaurant and just gone, okay, cookies, whatever. We'll put them in the drawer and maybe Mary Liddy will eat them later. I thought, well, I want one. So I took a cookie out of the bag. as it turns out, that was meant for someone. There was a certain number of cookies that Mary Liddy was going to distribute to a certain number of people she was eating lunch with.
There was one for the teacher, one for the school secretary who checks you in, one for a friend, one for Mary Liddy, one for another friend. And so I walk in. It's right before Matt was going to start the show. Was that today or I don't know what day it was. Anyway, Matt's chowing down on a cookie. And I went, where did you get that? That was not for you. Then I felt bad because I felt bad because I thought I should have ordered him a cookie. But every time I say, hey, do you want a cookie? He's like, no, I'm watching my weight. I don't need a cookie. I'm healthy now. And I'm like, okay.
I just thought, hey, extra cookies.
So I didn't get you one.
Cool.
Sorry.
Annabeth.
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
The cookie that he took, was this supposed to be for a child or an adult?
Well, as it turns out, Mary Liddy has gone without a cookie.
Oh, crap.
Because of Matt. Mary Liddy did not get a cookie, and so I will be taking her to get a treat because Matt ate his daughter's cookie.
Hey, and
here's what I'm going with. Here's what I'm going with because I thought you were going to say it was for a kid. So I was going to say, okay, well, Spin Zone, the story I'm telling from now on, Matt Wyatt is taking food from children.
He's a cookie monster.
But now that you tell me it was Mary Liddy specifically, I'm going to take it a step further. He's taking food out of his own daughter's mouth.
Out of her mouth.
And look,
there she is. There she is
her.
At school, and this is supposed to be a treat for her to get this lunch, and Matt ate her cookie.
And I texted her, and I said on her phone, she's got it with her. I texted her and said,
yeah, but she can't text.
I'm
so
sorry.
All she can do is read the text on her
okay,
watch.
But because
Thank you to C-Spire. She's got her Apple Watch.
She's got her
too.
watch on because they won't let her use her phone.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes she'll respond. I'm breaking that rule. Like if I need to text her, have a good day or whatever. So I texted her, and I'm like, Mary Liddy, I'm so sorry about the cookie. Haven't heard a word from her.
Yeah.
So now,
crickets.
Now I'm insecure thinking, okay, she's mad.
No, she hasn't responded because it's against the rules, and she's a rule follower. So, so that's where we are now. Matt is lying. Matt is lying about Beaver's dental surgery, and now stealing cookies.
Well, Annie, let me just say publicly, since I am, the man, and I do wear the pants in the family.
Sure.
You have permission to get her another cookie at the end of the day.
Thank you. I do wait by the side of the road for your permission on everything.
Chris texted the show, and he says, Matt, don't let them slander you like this. You are the Honest Abe of radio personalities.
He is. He's Honest Abe. He's more Andy Griffith. I call him Andy Griffith. Who said that?
Yeah, and Clark Griswold. Yeah,
Clark.
I get that too.
You're a good mix of Clark and Andy.
Well, but I'm not always. I've told lies before in my life. I'm not squeaky clean.
Yeah, but you.
Hasn't everybody at some point in their life told a lie?
Well, yeah, we all lie.
Yeah.
But you're truly good, Matt. You're
really?
Like, yeah, you're like Andy Griffith.
Hey, Andy,
you want all the good.
Let me just
for
say,
everybody.
I just want to take this time right now to tell you, you're welcome to come back on the show anytime you want to come back. Just come on back and be a part of the show whenever.
There's that permission again.
Let me sign your permission
Hey, well,
slip.
Beav, we did have, back at the end of 24, there was this long stretch of time where Annabeth was not coming on the show.
Oh.
And you, Annie, made the comment to me one day, I don't guess you won't be on the show anymore. You hadn't asked me. And I said, open door policy. Like, walk in. If you're here, just come on.
When was that?
That was a few months ago.
I don't
You've forgotten
remember.
about it completely?
I blocked it out.
Okay. I have a couple of things that I want to bring to y'all's attention.
Are they
First,
are they sports related?
Could be, yes.
Okay.
This could be, as much as anything else, concession stand related.
Yeah.
You would have found it interesting yesterday, I think, Annie. We had a list of the top 10 new concession items at Major League Baseball ballparks. Yesterday was the opening day for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I saw that.
But this, I bring specifically food related to the show for Beaver, too, because I think this, he's...
You really need to see what new items are locally.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so.
Come on, Matt.
What, like Atlanta? That's local.
How about at Mississippi State
and
Ole Miss?
See, I don't know if they
Southern.
have... I don't know if they have new stuff.
Oh, okay.
Today, March the 28th, is National Something on a Stick Day. National Something on a Stick Day.
Goodness.
Now, it's all food related.
Chicken.
Okay. Name it off. Things that are common around here.
Chicken.
Chicken on a stick.
Yeah.
Okay. There are other things, though.
Corn dogs.
Corn dogs, those are on a stick.
Some people, Beaver, correct me if I'm wrong, can't you get like fried pickles on a stick? Have I seen that? Is that like
I'm sure
at the
it
fair?
exists.
Maybe at the fair or something?
Everything seems to exist at the fair.
On a stick.
Yeah,
on
really,
a stick, yeah.
It really does.
I don't really know anything else. Chicken and corn dogs.
Chicken and corn. Okay. There's some questions I need to ask, rhetorically or not. But is marshmallow roasting technically in this category?
For concessions?
No, not concessions. Just it's National Something on a Stick Day.
Well, you kind of made it sound like a concession. I thought we were talking about concessions.
Here's another question. Have you ever eaten fruit off of a stick?
Like a fruit kebab?
Well, no, like a big slice of watermelon on a stick.
I think I've had a little fruit kebab like at a party or something.
Okay, I'm going to give you another one you didn't think about.
Watermelon on a stick?
Yes. Caramel apple. That's something on a stick.
How are you supposed to eat a caramel apple on a stick?
It comes on with a stick.
A caramel apple?
Yeah. Think about the ones at the chocolate factory in Vicksburg.
They're not on a stick.
Yes, they do. Think about when you slice it. You have to slice it beside the stick. Don't cut the stick.
I've never seen a caramel apple not on a stick.
Well, I guess y'all are right.
You just weren't thinking about it.
No.
Now, the last one.
Y'all
Got
are
my
right.
hand up here as a fan of the movie Nacho Libre.
Oh, the corn.
I want some corn on a stick like he had.
The street corn.
Street corn with that butter and that stuff sprinkled all over it.
Please don't start quoting that movie. I cannot take it today.
The eggs. They give me no nutrients.
Matt,
I'll do it for you, Matt Wyatt.
Anytime we go to a Mexican restaurant, Beaver, no matter what zip code, wherever we are, and we're having Mexican food, Matt wants to order street corn because he wants to eat it like Jack Black off Nacho Libre.
But it's always,
and then he's always like, "Oh, this is not as good."
It's not.
as
It's
it
never.
looked."
Well, it's never on a stick.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Chicken on a stick has to be the number one answer.
Thibodeau is on the Davini Equipment phone line on line 1. Thibodeau, welcome to the show.
Hello to both of you.
Hey, Thibodeau.
So you were talking about this. Hey, good to hear your voice. You've been talking about this dog Jasper being 90 pounds.
Yeah.
My wife and I have a 120-pound Great Dane.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, and look, that's small for a Great Dane.
Is it really? How about that?
Yeah, like we got her from a breeder in North Mississippi, and she was one of 12 puppies. So that poor mother had 12 Great Dane puppies.
How about that?
Goodness gracious.
Now, you were talking about giving this big dog a bath.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want it to be comfortable for the dog, so there's a little bit of warm water, you've got to have a walk-in stand-up shower.
I got you.
What, did Matt try to
other
say
than that,
he wanted to
you
bathe
just
the dog?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Matt can't do it.
But I want to try.
No.
Now, the other thing you mentioned earlier, that you are becoming Hank Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting on the couch a few months ago with the Great Dane, Charlie. She's a female Charlie.
Okay.
And we're sitting there watching King of the Hill. And my wife, who is about 11 years younger than me, walks in, looks at the TV, looks at the dog and says, "Charlie, your father's watching himself on TV again."
So she thinks what? She thinks you act like him or look like him?
No, she thinks I like the things that I gripe about and complain about. The media, the network, not to be mentioned. Everything.
That's funny.
Seed oils, vaccines, all kinds of stuff.
Propane. Got it.
Yeah, propane.
Sounds like
I don't know,
Charlie
man.
loves you anyway.
Oh yeah, Charlie's great, and also, man, don't feel bad. Mary Liddy's not even paying rent.
That's a good point. Excellent point, Thibodeau. Thank you for that reminder. Hey, send me a picture of
Have a good one.
you too. Send me a picture of Charlie. I want to see the dog. All right.
All right, I'll get parked here in just a little bit, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Thibodeau.
So, Annie, Hank Hill, the character on King of the Hill.
Yeah, I know the character. I don't know the show because I'm not a big fan of the show. I don't watch that show.
Well,
I know you think it's funny. I don't know that I've ever watched an episode of that.
Yeah, I just was telling Beaver earlier, more and more examples pop up where it hits me. You know what? I'm turning out to be just like that guy.
No.
Just like Hank Hill. I'm a lot
Now
like
you listen to me, mister. I work for a living. And I mean real work, not writing down gobbledygook.
All right. We got another phone call.
Oh, okay.
Brando on line 2 of the Divinity Equipment phone line. Brando, what's up?
What is up, homecoming queen? This is one of your favorite callers. I know I always make you laugh, so I hope I do today. Hey, like he does to your listeners, just disappear on you sometimes. Just don't talk to you for a couple of days.
Hey, we got a bad connection. Start over, Brando. Say it one more time.
Hey, can you hear? Does Matt disappear on you like he does on us listeners a couple of days?
He does. He'll just disappear. I don't know where he is.
No. Hey, real quick, Matt, did you get my picture on the South meet? You want to try that on a stick?
You know, I would try it. I definitely would try it. And I found out they South meat.
What is that?
It's
hoghead cheese.
Hoghead cheese. You just have to look it up. Andy.
Okay, I'll look it up.
But they serve it or sell it, Brando, down at Country Meat Packers, Country Pleasing in Florence. I
know where you think I got it from.
Yeah, I want to try.
One last thing. I saw a picture of your dog, and I coon hunt with my dad.
Yeah.
And your dog's got a bunch of blue tick in him.
Yeah, everyone says that. And the thing about it is,
he does 100%.
Yeah, and the thing is, his you know, like his height, the length of his legs, and therefore his height. Lends me to believe.
He's got the build. He's in shape, unlike you and Dee. Have a good day. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and happy.
You too.
Bye, Brando.
Thanks, Brando.
And I noticed that Jasper, he likes to tree. Is that what you call it? Is that the verb? Verbiage?
Yes. Yeah, he
tree
trees
a squirrel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's really into that.
He trees squirrels. One of these days, he's going to catch that bumblebee out there. He keeps chasing.
Yeah.
And birds, you know, he likes to chase them. And he's really an athletic dog. Like, you know, he's so big, but he can cover the length of the yard in just a blink. Which is, when I first saw it, I was almost not used to it. I was like, good night.
Yeah.
You know, and then jumping.
Beaver, he's Matt's new best friend. They're in love.
No, but we are best friends. And he's like, he'll get rambunctious, big, you know, like a puppy. And with his size, not even realize he's doing it. I was telling earlier, like I'll be holding the rope that I throw and he retrieves. I'll be holding it up over my head. I'm 6.5 feet. I'll hold it up over my head. And I'll turn my head and not look. And when he senses that he can get it, he will jump, and he's over my head. I mean, he's up here where my hand is.
Yeah, he jumps pretty high.
And I'm like, so he doesn't know it. But if he wanted to jump out of here, he could go.
He could leave. So I started wondering, will you take him to the press box with you?
Of course not.
Like Kirk Herbstreit?
Yeah. Oh, for that very reason, no.
I know, but I did love the story about Kirk Herbstreit's dog. I did. Anybody who loves a dog like that, there's a little bit of something good inside of them.
You know what?
Dogs bring out the good in people.
Right. You know what I thought was special about Kirk Herbstreit's dog as compared to anybody else's dog? Nothing.
Okay, Matt.
That's what I thought.
Let's move along. We're not
going to fight about that?
No. You're not being very sentimental.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's not nice.
I'm sorry. Well, I will say this. Okay, real tears when your dog passes away.
Absolutely.
And you've had them for a decade.
That's right.
Or more. Real tears. It's real.
That's right.
It's real grief. Okay.
It's real.
As it is for anyone, even not on television.
Okay, Matt. Moving on. What are y'all talking about sports-wise? Beaver?
Stuff on a stick.
Beaver, have we had any sports today on the sports show?
Just a little.
Yeah.
Ice cream. Sven says ice cream is food on a stick. Does that count?
Popsicle?
Yeah, popsicles. I think chicken on a stick, though.
Chicken on a stick. I didn't know about chicken on a stick until I went to Ole Miss, and they sell it at the Chevron. Everybody knows about it.
Right.
I ate a lot of chicken on a stick. Too much.
What, Beaver, what's your favorite food on a stick?
Man, you know what? I haven't had any food on a stick in so long, but this is one I would love to have because I haven't had it in so long. Let me throw this one out at you. Do you remember their frozen foods, the breakfast? It was sausage with a pancake wrapped around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Beaver.
I didn't know this.
I do remember that. It's kind of an old school. Do they still have those?
I don't even know.
I bet they do. I bet they're even
I'm going to look
better.
into it.
I bet they are even better, and you could dip them in syrup. I remember those.
I had forgotten about that. Hey,
breakfast on a stick.
Is it ironic that a fish stick doesn't actually have a stick?
It doesn't.
What if we could have a fish stick on a stick? Serve those at a ball game.
Oh.
Fried fish on a stick?
Fried fish.
Bring that on.
That might work. You're just coming up with so many great ideas today, Matt. Good job.
I'm coming up with good stuff.
Job.
Hey, pancake and sausage on a stick on the Kroger app.
Up.
It does exist.
You may need to.
You can get a 12-pack for $11.99.
We need to go get some.
Beaver's going to have that this weekend.
And we'll celebrate National Something on a Stick Day. Rolling along, sports show on a stick right after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Greg, may I have a piece of that?
Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now.
At thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, HQ Homecoming Queen here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio with us. Kevin commented on X, formerly Twitter, and said, I literally just went to Sonic to get a corn dog because of this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
A corn dog. Corn dog is probably the most famous.
Oh, man.
Not chicken. It's probably a corn dog, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love them.
Back in the day at the mall in Vicksburg, there's really not much of a mall there anymore, but a long time ago when the mall first opened, there was a place called Corn Dog 7. Did you have those in Alabama?
Yes.
I think it was a chain.
Yes.
They had corn dogs and fries, and they'd sprinkle the salty stuff, the little seasoned salt on the fries.
Yeah.
And they had fresh lemonade. And gosh, I used to think this is the best thing I've ever had.
You know, the malls, sometimes, we get in the way back. But back in the day, the malls, before Chick-fil-A, they all kind of had the same things, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Every mall food court had a pizza place, the Sbarro deal.
Yeah.
They all had a cinnamon roll place.
Yeah.
They all had an ice cream deal.
Yeah.
They all had at least one Chinese food deal in there.
Yeah. Back to corn dogs, I would dip it in mustard. Most people use ketchup. I love mustard on a corn dog.
I'll mix it. I mix the ketchup and mustard. Yeah, dip it in it.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
Beaver. Is he there?
What? I'm not supposed to mix ketchup?
Oh, I'm here.
Do you mix mustard and ketchup? Am I outnumbered on this?
I've tried it before, but it's not something I would normally do.
Me neither.
But I have to admit to you right now, though, that I hate corn dogs.
You do?
So
but
if you're asking if I would put it on a corn dog specifically, I would never even eat the corn dog.
You would never even eat the corn dog. But you like the breakfast sausage.
Oh, he's all about that. He's all about the sausage wrapped in a pancake.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So we'll let it go. That's a form of a corn dog.
Dipping that in syrup over there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That box should come with a couple of aspirin as well.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Sven says, Matt, do you remember this? And he names it, and I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
It's like...
Spell it.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's SCHAS, which I think the German pronunciation, the prefix of that word would be Schas, Schaslik, but it's SCHASCHLIK. In Germany, meat sticks with onions, liver, and pickles.
I don't know this.
I don't either.
Is that a brand?
I don't know what that is. I will say that when I lived in Hamburg, Germany that year, I ran into some food items that I still to this day don't know what it is.
Yeah. You just ate it.
Yeah.
You were hungry.
Man, one day, okay, so, Hamburg, those people say Hamburg.
Hamburg? Did they not have a facility where the football players ate?
Yeah, we did. And, just regular restaurants that serve a little bit of everything. And they would even have, again, you're talking about over 20 years ago.
Cafeteria that y'all would eat
No,
in?
no, not one, central cafeteria. Now, we would have team meals. Sometimes we'd have to meet somewhere, or at the facility, they bring food in, that sort of deal. Road trips, they feed you in the hotel. But anyway, it was 5 million. I think we looked it up with Sven recently. 5 million people proper, I think, that live in Hamburg. And it's a big city. Big 50,000 seat soccer stadium, which is where we played. And around that area were, there's a park here and a park there. You'd go, and there's big areas you get out and walk and go see things or whatever. It's really nice weather most of the year. And so it was almost like walking in Central Park in New York, where you turn a corner on a path, Annie, and then there's this little stand right here. You can buy food. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we ran up on one of those. I was super hungry that day, starving. It was me and a couple of guys, some other folks from the team. And we couldn't read anything in the menu. And unfortunately, it was one of those few experiences we had 25 years ago where the person working there also spoke no English.
If only you had your C Spire.
That's what I'm saying.
Back in the day, you could type it in really quickly.
Well, that's how old I am. We didn't have phones.
Yeah,
we just didn't have them.
I know.
So we were all we'd point to, okay, right here. Okay, this. We pointed to that. And I pointed to something and got something. And it was a plate of food that none of the things on the plate did I know what they were. None of them.
Did you eat it?
No.
You
didn't?
It
wasn't any good. And I still to this day don't know what it was. I wish I did. And if I had known, I probably would have been more apt to try it. But I didn't know what it was. I got the plate. I looked at it. I'm like, no, not today.
Maybe you would have felt better if it had all been on a stick.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, the liver and onions and pickles on a stick, that sounds pretty doggone good now.
I don't know where I am thinking of fried pickles on a stick. Maybe that comes with chicken and pickle.
Yeah.
Somewhere I've had that in my life.
I have too. Chicken on a stick that also, it's
got
got chicken.
Pickles also.
But fried with it. Pickles, potatoes, things like that.
Yes.
Really good.
Why do you have to keep clearing your throat? Pollen?
Pollen. This is pollen time of year. Clay sent me a picture of his dog, a 45-pound Boston Terrier.
Oh, those are so cute.
Man, I love those. You know what else I like?
Boston Terriers.
Boxers. You know what I think is the coolest dog in the world? A boxer. They're the brown and white and the short nose and the really athletic, bigger dogs.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Anybody out there got a boxer you want to get rid of? Just holler at me.
Really, Matt?
Yeah, we're running a.
Matt is.
We're running a dog halfway house over here, so
Mary Lydia and I are in charge of the cats, and Matt is now in charge of Jasper.
Joe texts, and I don't know if he's serious or not. Maybe he's a Tennessee fan. Maybe he means this literally. But he says, gator on a stick is my favorite.
Really? Gator? Alligator?
Gator on a stick.
Wow.
All right. Over to the phone line. Let me warn everybody. I think it's our issue. There's some clicking and some echoing going on in the phone line. So just bear with that as we go to the phone calls, please. Dog 75 on the Davini phone, line 1. What's up, dog?
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
What happened to the tactic we used to do when somebody got 2 strikes? They would just file off everything that looked like it could even be called a strike by the umpire, thus requiring the pitcher to throw more balls and, waiting for your pitch.
Yeah. Well, here's what I would say, dog 75. There are plenty of great hitters good enough to every now and then foul off a pitch intentionally. Like you just kind of take a halfway slap at it and maybe you foul it off intentionally. But most of the time, most cases, certainly the huge majority of college baseball hitters simply are not, they're just not they're not Tony Gwynn. They're not at that level where they can intentionally, as you say, you get 2 strikes and you just intentionally foul things off into foul territory as a way to waste the pitches and make them throw you something better. The reaction time from the time that ball leaves that pitcher's hand till it's in the glove is so short, and it's such a timing and reaction thing. If they take a cut, their intent is to hit it. It's not an intent to foul the thing off deal. Seldom, I guess is what I'm saying, and that's what I would say. Would be my answer to that.
Well, we used to have a bunch of guys who could do it. They'd pound their chest twice, after they got 2 strikes.
What I'm telling you, though, again,
there for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm telling you, though, again, is even in those instances where you saw a hitter battle and extending at bat, and he fouled 5 or 6 pitches off, he was trying to hit them. He wasn't trying to foul it off. He was trying to hit it. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Well, you don't have to believe me. I'm just telling you the truth.
Anyway, have a good one.
You too. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a little short-sighted to think that, your average college hitter can stand in front of a guy throwing 91, 92, and in a lot of cases faster than that, and because he has 2 strikes, can intentionally foul off 6, 7 pitches. The foul balls are, you're taking a hack at it. You're not squaring it up, but you're taking a hack at it trying to hit it. You're not intentionally, I think I'm going to foul this one off and get another pitch. That ain't the way it works. Even though it may look that way, it's just not the way it works. It's not an intentional thing. So therefore, it's not a deal where all of a sudden they have decided not to do it. Guarantee you they're trying to.
Well, speaking of baseball, I thought it might be fun for you to take Jasper to see a Mississippi State baseball game, but he's not allowed. Dogs are not allowed at Duty Noble Field. Only service animals. So maybe you could get him a certificate.
And make him a service.
I found it ironic that the Bulldogs, the dogs don't allow dogs on campus unless they're at the vet school, I guess.
That is kind of ironic. The dogs saying no to the dogs.
Yep.
All right, a little bit of time left with you. Thanks to the homecoming queen for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend, Beaver.
You too, Annabeth.
I hope you get some pancakes on a stick.
Me too. Y'all stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff. Make sure you go there. Murray West. You can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, you know, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and you know, we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now.
Right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, I'm Matt. A little bit of time left. Wrap things up here on a Friday. We had Sweet 16 basketball last night. Going to get some more of it tonight. 4 more games tonight, including Ole Miss and Michigan State, 6 o'clock on CBS. About 20 minutes after that on TBS, they'll start the Kentucky and Tennessee game. That's a 2 versus a 3. Late tonight, 8:30 CBS, it's Michigan and Auburn. And then at 9 on TBS, it's Purdue and Houston. Now, wake up in the morning and figure out who won that one. Baseball start times. Let's give you those for tonight. As you know, Florida and Ole Miss will play game 2 of their series. And looks like what I'm seeing is a 3 p.m. start for that one. And I think that's probably, purely with Ole Miss fans in mind to get them out of there so they can watch basketball. Start the baseball game at 3. Game 2 between State and LSU and Baton Rouge, 6:30. And then the rest of the SEC, they're going to start there. No, I told you wrong. This looks like Ole Miss and Florida playing a doubleheader. Is that what y'all are seeing? So they're going to play game 1 at 3 and then play another one after that today? Looks that way. Okay. It'll be funny, right, to go to Swayze tonight at about 6:30. You'd be about 30 minutes into the basketball game, and anybody at the baseball game is going to have their phone out watching it, watching basketball, probably. Yeah, State at LSU game 2 tonight, 6:30, and then the rest of the SEC beginning their series. So Tennessee at South Carolina, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Auburn at Georgia. Game 1, 5 Central, 6 Eastern. Game 1, Kentucky at Texas A&M. That'll be at 6 Central. You have Oklahoma, 9th-ranked Oklahoma at 12th-ranked Alabama this weekend. Game 1 tonight, 6 o'clock. Alabama trying to get a series win after dropping the series last weekend at Tennessee. Texas is on the road at Missouri. 6 o'clock tonight, game 1. And then fun series in Nashville this weekend. Vandy hosting Arkansas. 7 o'clock first pitch. Central will be 8 Eastern for that one tonight. Southern Miss, as I mentioned, they are hosting South Alabama this weekend. And they're going to have game 1 tonight at 6 p.m. in Hattiesburg. Southern Miss ranked 13th in the country according to D1 Baseball. Hey, really good. They're 5-1 in the Sun Belt, got 18 wins overall. South Alabama struggling. They're 11-13, 1-5. So let's look at your lineup. Not lineup. Your start times. Yeah, we didn't cover it. I mean, y'all want a scoreboard? You want a Major League scoreboard? Let's see who won on opening day. Yankees beat the Brewers 4-2 in New York. Baltimore on the road, a 10-run win over the Blue Jays. Out hit them 14-4 and beat them 12-2. Phillies beat the Nats in 10 innings, 7-3. Red Sox went to Texas and beat the Rangers 5-2. Marlins a winner at home over the Pirates by a run, 5-4. Giants over the Reds in Cincinnati, 6-4. White Sox, 8-1 winners over the Angels. Opening day. It was in Chicago. Cleveland went to Kansas City and beat the Royals 7-4 in 10 innings. That one went to extras also. You had the Astros winning at home yesterday, 3-1 over the Mets. Mentioned the Padres beat the Braves 7-4 in San Diego. In St. Louis, the Cardinals beat the Twins 5-3 on opening day. Out in L.A., had a good ball game. Dodgers a 5-4 winner over the Tigers. The Tigers actually out hit the Dodgers 9-7, but got beat 5-4. No errors in that ball game. Cubs, your Cubbies beat the Diamondbacks 10-6, and then in Seattle, the Mariners a winner over the A's 4-2. Those were your opening day deals. Whole bunch of games. Braves are going to play late. Wait, but it's not late though, because they're putting that on there as Pacific time, aren't they? Aren't they? It says 8:40 p.m. What does that mean? 6:40 here? No. Yeah, that's what that means. So around 6:30 here, we can watch Game 2, Braves Padres. If you're like me and you have subscribed to something online that lets you do it. All right. By the way, Rockies and Rays, they're playing in Tampa in that minor league facility, and they're starting the season today. Neither of them played yesterday. They're going to start today. Jason in Flagstaff said, Sawyer Reeves did that last week, and he fouled off a bunch of pitches and eventually struck out. Real unnamed texter, yeah, doubleheader. Going to rain tomorrow. Yeah, so we're going to get some more rain this weekend. So it's just the way it is. Brando, look at that. Got a whole sheet of souse meat. They sell it in big squares like that. It's like notebook paper. Yeah, okay, and I'm with you. Principal, he texted the show. He said, regarding reading the scores from opening day, he said, who cares? It's game 1 of 180. He says the players don't even care who wins game 1 or 82 for that matter. Like I told you, I know this is a repeat, but this is for anybody who tuned in late. I didn't even know this happened. I missed it. I was outside during this part of the Braves and Padres season opener yesterday in San Diego. But the Braves were actually up 4-3. This was in the bottom of the fifth when Fernando Tatis Jr. for the Padres did this.
Crushed to left. Profar back. It's off the top of the wall. Tatis thought he had homered, and he's only going to get a single out of it. He was admiring the ball off his bat, and he doesn't get past first base.
It's inexcusable. It happens more in our game, I think, than it ever has. And you're letting teammates down in spots like this. He certainly did hit the baseball hard, but it had some topspin on it. You see how slowly he gets out of the box. Then there's that panic, and it's too late. It looked like it was going to get out of here pretty easily, but obviously it did not. And that is a big mistake from Fernando Tatis Jr.
Hey, Beaver, when you sent me that video clip, what was going through your head? What was your evaluation of what you were watching right there?
Sad. Not shocked, though. And that right there is sad. But, yeah, like I said earlier, Tatis, he seems to have this reputation already. Not that I even, follow baseball intently. Just me as casual looking in Major League Baseball every now and then. I remember a handful of times last season when I heard about him, doing stuff like this or the way he plays, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's way, way, way too common. I don't know. It's like, Beaver, here I go being Hank Hill again, okay? And so feel free to put me in my place. Not that you even need me to say that to you. It's like it's a teeny tiny like microcosm of a me outlook versus a we outlook. It's me. I made contact. Let me stand here and have my moment in the hot sun as I watch the ball, and hopefully our social media team who's got cameras in the dugout have got it trained on me, and I'll go a little slower so it's easier for them to follow me around first. And versus a we deal. Fifth inning, opening day, we're down a run. I've made contact. I'm burning it out of there. I can slow up and try it if it goes out, but I'm not going to look up until I, hear the umpire say it. I really do. Listen, I really do believe that's what it is. So if you're coaching a little league team, tell them that. Guys, look, this ain't me ball. This is we ball. You make contact, you run. We'll tell you when to slow up if it went out. What those guys are doing, don't emulate that. Enough. I'm going to find some chicken on a stick on this Friday. Thanks for tuning in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. For Beaver, I'm Matt. Have a great weekend. See ya!